Hey, it's Bubba. Of course, we ain't still on vacation, so we're gonna still make it do what it do. Hey, you tune in to Buddy Vision. I got a special guest today, Miss ReShonn. And how you doing, Miss ReShonn?
Hi, I'm doing good.
Hey, this Buddy Vision gonna make it a little different. So, ReShonn, how you doing? Once again.
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for letting us come in and talk to you. So, for the people that don't know who you are, let them know who you are. Give us a little background.
My name is ReShonn Saul. I am from Wallace, Louisiana, and I have been in the mental health and juvenile justice arena, professional arena, since about 2003 when I graduated from college, undergrad. Yeah, so I've been in the mental health sector. I've been in the Office of Juvenile Justice, and now I'm with Families in Need of Services.
Okay.
I served on, I'm currently serving on several appointed government boards.
Wow.
One is Human Sex Trafficking Commission Advisory Board for the governor currently. Another is the Children's Cabinet Advisory Board for the governor. And most recently, the Regional Advisory Commission Board, I believe it's called RAC. It's to bring out more training to the public on behavioral health services, and bring to the legislators the need for more behavioral health services in your area. So that's where I am now, and I'm an advocate.
Okay. And that's why we got the expert in today, to give y'all some more help on how to deal with these situations. So I guess we just jump right into it. Like, one of the things that you're like expert in is sex trafficking. Honestly, I didn't even know sex trafficking was, I am not gonna say the real, but a big thing in Louisiana. But after talking and doing some research, I found out it's real big in Louisiana.
Yeah, unfortunately, sex trafficking is real big, but it's one of the passions for the governor. If you watch some of his, if you go back on YouTube maybe and watch some of his announcements and his press conferences regarding it, it's one of his passions, and that's one of the reasons why he created a commission, and he created an advisory board that's going to advise the commission that's going to advise him on the new laws and everything. But yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad amongst children and adults as well. Yeah.
So,
Lafayette recently had a major bust.
come on.
Yeah.
So I guess I need to start watching the news a little bit more.
Yeah, watch the news.
Yeah.
You know just as much as I know, because it's all publicized on, right on the news. So.
Okay. So like with the kids, do you I guess see a lot of kids involved in it, or get a lot of kids cases like that?
Well, some kids' cases I may get, they'll be involved with it somewhat through the internet.
Okay.
There are a lot of websites that were created for children that are now being used to lure children in.
Wow. So you tell me I can't let my kid go on a kid website, if I had a kid, a kid's website to play out on the internet?
You have to make sure you have parental control. There are ways you can set it up to where everything they do on the computer goes directly to your email. And of course you have smart watches and stuff now where you can set it all up to where it goes onto your watch like as soon as they log on.
Wow.
There are different people out there creating different apps that help kids hide these things from parents, such as, okay, you take an iPhone.
Right.
You have an iPhone, right?
Yep.
How do you get to your calculator?
I get on my home screen.
You slide up,
Yep.
and then it pops up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There's an app that looks like a calculator.
Come on.
It's like some sort of hidden way to text different people without your parents knowing, because a parent might pick up an iPhone, might have an Android like me,
Yeah.
and they have the calculator app.
Yeah.
Okay, some parents may not know that. They're not into that.
Right.
Okay, but the kid has an iPhone.
Yeah.
If you go through your kid's iPhone and see a calculator app, that's not a calculator. The calculator is where you slide up, right, from the little arrow.
Yeah.
That's a way that they hide text messages and stuff like that. And believe it or not, kids are being catfished. You know the camp that I told you about last week? Well, one of the main topics were bullying and cyberbullying. And so we talked to them a lot about the different ways old pedophiles can catfish you. Okay? They'll take a nice looking 15-year-old boy picture that they find online, and they'll make that their profile picture. And next thing you know, Little Jane Doe, she's like, oh, he's cute, and he's telling her how cute he is, and she is, and they go back and forth. They go back and forth, possibly for months, and she feels safe with them.
Right.
And then until that moment comes when he says, I want to pick you up. Okay?
Man.
And that person that comes around the corner may be a 56-year-old dirty man that want to take you.
That just might be that. That's my dad gonna pick you up or something like that.
Yeah, and some of the kids were actually saying how they thought a few times when they were talking to, you know, a younger person on social media, but some kids today like to use the messenger to talk so they can video chat.
Yep.
And they watch the show Catfish, and they're like, why you don't want to video chat with me? I want to see your face. I want, you know, this and that.
That's good. That's good.
You know, things like that. But then that's a sign. That is a sign that you are not talking to who you think you're talking to.
So when they don't want FaceTime, it's basically a sign that that's not the same person.
So parents should ask their kids, like, okay, you're talking to little Johnny from St. John Parish.
Right.
Let's FaceTime him and let's talk to him. Let me invite him over to dinner, but I want to invite him myself.
Okay.
So mom or dad, you know, get on their phone and say, let's, you know, chat with them and FaceTime him or message him, or however they use the other Tango, all those things like that. Let's FaceTime, and parents can say that. And if they don't want to give that face-to-face, that's a sign that your child is possibly talking to somebody who she doesn't know that she's talking to. Or he too. Girls are vulnerable, but boys, it goes both ways. You know, especially around 12 years old, 13, they really think they want to be serious with a girlfriend or a boyfriend, you know, and a lot of them want love. They think that's their age, they think that they know what love is, and they want attention.
Sure.
So, you know, that's one of the signs that'll help you.
That's crazy. Like I said, I never thought about it that deep. And I guess it is with all the technology. Why wouldn't you want to FaceTime and do stuff like that now? That's great. That's great. And one of the other things that you touched on also was bullying, right? Bullying, I guess it's classified now as in both ways. Social media has a lot to do with bullying, but also bullying is still going on in person, right?
Correct. There's direct bullying that can happen in different ways. Verbal, emotional, physical.
3 of them,
Okay? Verbal, talking about somebody's mom, talking about their appearance.
That's just common,
well, if the person that is being done to feels like that action the person is trying to overpower them with their words, then it's considered as bullying.
Oh, I'm sorry, Black. I'm sorry for bullying you.
We can take care of him. But yeah, so verbal. But then these days when we were in school, and I know I'm older than you, but say I graduated in 1999.
Ooh, now do the math.
I am proud to be 38. So, you know, when we were in school, it was the, girl, you're getting some fat or something like that, but it stopped.
Right.
You know, or the person back then will say, I know I'm getting fat. You know, or man, you just got braces, like, ugh, like, well, my parents can afford them.
Right.
Yours probably can't. And then it stopped because of all of those people, especially me. I went to West St. John, a small school where literally everybody was your friend.
Right.
You know, so if somebody said something, you either had somebody behind you to answer that person, and then the next thing you know, you're sitting in the hallway together and going to lunch. But now the things that the children are reporting that people are saying to them, it's not the sticks and stones break my bones, but words will never hurt me anymore. Right. It's not those type of words that they're using. You know, if they know that one of this child's loved ones or parents are in jail, they use that. And 9 times out of 10, they hear it from their parents not even knowing sometimes that the kid's listening. You know, I'm a mama myself, and I like to chit chat on the phone, and when we be talking about something, and I don't know my son is in the next room listening, not intentionally talking about these things in front of your kids, but if they hear it, next thing you know, little John boy don't want to share his pencil that day. And man, that's why your daddy went to jail. And it could be something like your daddy got ran to jail for selling deer meat. He had no license. You know you're going down for selling the deer meat. You know? So things like that, or you don't know the struggle sometimes in a child's life anymore. Today, the struggle is so real with certain things. You know, we have parents who are struggling just as much as kids these days mentally.
True.
You know, you have domestic violence possibly in the home. You have single parents who, when they get off at 5 o'clock in the morning, they gotta wake their kids up.
Yeah, that's
Make
true.
sure they get together, holler at them about 10 times before they get up.
Before they get up.
You know, and that 16-year-old who can legally watch their little sister or brother has been all up because the sister or brother don't want to go to sleep. So now you have a tired 16-year-old that's going to school, don't want to be bothered. Somebody else here, yeah, your daddy don't pay you child support, that's why you can't go to sleep. You know, things like that really hurt because that kid know mama is struggling.
True.
You know, mama gotta get off at 5 o'clock, put me on the school bus, me and my sisters, you know, and she may not fall asleep, take her shower.
Right.
She may not fall asleep until 7 o'clock.
True.
And then she gotta get up at 2 or 3 o'clock and get prepared to go back to work and start her day over. So, you know, bullying is so different because families are going through more now.
Gotcha.
You know.
That's deep.
I mean, think about it. Inflation doesn't match minimum wage.
No, it don't. Let that one breathe. That's true.
That's another topic. Inflation doesn't match minimum wage.
I like that. So like the social media bullying. So let's talk about that because cyberbullying. Because I feel like a lot of parents don't really know about it because they know about what we just talked about, like the direct. But the cyberbullying, I think, now with the kids and I guess the millennium, right? Kids, it's real. It's like it's more than the other one.
Well, cyberbullying is anytime there's bullying, teasing, or anything that goes that happens using any type of device, whether it's cell phone, iPad. We don't have pages no more.
No. I ain't had pages.
Oh. Would you have a two-way one? Oh man, two-way. Okay.
Two-way too high.
Okay. Oh, you was too young for two-way.
Yeah, I was too young. We had the boost mode with the track phone. That's when I started off playing Snake.
I remember that. So anywho, back on topic. I'm sorry. Any computer device that bullying is going on with, we find a lot of the DM messages. Yeah. Snapchat.
So, but how can you? I thought once somebody sent a snap, you open it, maybe look at it twice, it's going away forever.
What kids don't realize is that their settings. See, they think they're smart. Yeah. But they don't properly set their settings to where all of their videos sometimes they're being saved. Okay, now I don't want to give too many tips, but just any IT person would tell you that once it's on the internet, it's somewhere in cyberspace through this thing called Catch.
Gotcha.
You know, if you go through the Catch system or whatever it's called, everything is saved some sort of way. But what they're doing, they do a lot of texting with Snapchat.
Right.
They create group texts and stuff like that, and that's how the bullying starts. Because if you have 5 of my friends that we normally text and be like, "Hey girl, let's go," blah blah blah, and one of those texts come back as a jab at one of the friends. Here come another friend with a laughing emoji. Right. Here come another friend with killing myself laughing, whatever they say. You know. Here come another friend. Ooh. You know. So now that one friend is being attacked, even with that laugh.
So because laugh is being attacked.
That laugh is joining in. Okay. Now, say for instance, you always have that one friend though that's gonna say, "Girl, stop that. Leave her alone."
Right. Or you're going too far.
You're going too far. But guess what? That friend is always ignored.
True.
That friend is always ignored.
True.
But guess what happens? It's always that parent that does have connection to what they're doing. Yeah. And that's how it gets caught. It gets caught most of the time. Sure. But cyberbullying, you know, whether it's all type of apps, this Google thing. One of the problems that I think in some people, especially, I'm sorry, school system, I apologize. But one of the problems is that they allow kids to bring cell phones to school today. My personal opinion is don't allow them to have it. It's too much temptation.
Right.
Psychologically, they can't handle that much pressure.
Right.
Okay, and I'm gonna say I'm sorry again, Pastor Gaines, my pastor, because I'm in a choir. If my phone buzz in my purse, I want to see.
Right.
Okay, I want to. I'm like, look,
yeah.
act like I'm reading my scripture.
No, she ain't reading nothing.
And I'm checking that text like, oh, for real? And next thing you know, I'm telling the person, such and such told me. So, you know, so imagine.
Like, yeah, that's a good scripture you're reading, huh?
Yeah.
Amen.
I'm going to come up with something, one of them. Good thing I know you. But you know, just showing that I'm 38 years old and psychologically I cannot handle the temptation of feeling my phone buzzing in my purse.
True.
You know, and my foot is sitting in my, and I'm not the only person. You too.
Right.
And you know, and we have what the watches.
Yep.
I can't wear this if I'm not gonna want to be distracted.
Right.
So think about the children.
Okay.
You know, and they have the computers and everything in the school now.
Yep. And
you know,
just to piggyback on what you're saying, I feel like the school is kind of setting the kids up because once you get a career job or a real job, you can't look at your phone every 5 seconds that somebody sends you a text message.
No.
And just like you said, you in a group message, 20 people gonna be texting at one time, and
Yes.
the temptation of you going and checking and trying to check it, it's hard.
And then think about how Snapchat works. You can constantly add people to your groups while the chat is going on.
Yep.
And see, that's what happens, you know. And just to give you an example, girl 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 have been friends since they were, let's say, play t-ball.
Yeah.
Because I know that's the thing. St. James Parish produced some good, you know, girl softball players. A lot of girls around here, I find they start off playing ball together. But girls 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, girl number 5 get her boyfriend when she's about 12 years old. Okay? 1, 2, 3, and 4 don't have a boyfriend.
Correct.
Okay, girl number 5, about a year with the little relationships last about 4 months to 8 months or something.
About a couple of weeks,
Couple of weeks, they think they're in love, but then all of a sudden they don't like them anymore, or you know, something like that. So they break up.
Yeah.
Girl number 2 start liking girl number 5 ex-boyfriend.
Right.
Okay, boy tells girl number 2 everything that him and girl number 5 did.
Exactly.
So girl number 1, 2, and 3, and 4 start talking about girl number 5.
Right.
They create a chat, a text, because now I have her man, he don't like her no more. I'm gonna start saying these things about her. And guess what? I'm using these examples, but these things happen. And then here come girl number 5, she's telling mama they're talking about me or whatever, and girls reading it, girls tell friends, I'm depressed, you know, stop doing this, you guys making me want to kill myself. Girl number 1 may say, well, go ahead and kill yourself. Well, guess what? Girl number 1, along with all of the friends, mama. And this is something that I wanted to say, that parents sometimes don't realize their rights.
So what you mean?
Well, parents have the rights to call the sheriff department and report that.
But how is that not considered kids mess?
Because at that point you have a child that's depressed and a child who is considered as bullying. Prime example, when I was practicing in crisis therapy, if a parent called me and say she's in crisis, and I say why? My child don't want to stop digging in his nose. Okay. All right, well, what you mean? Well, if it's a crisis to that family that you're serving, it's a crisis to you. You have to report it as a crisis. So if your child come and say, and when you have kids, and this is gonna happen, Daddy, little Johnny keep taking my pencil and telling me I'm fat. And you say, boy, ignore that.
Yeah, ignore
and I have a proof right here. Ignore that, okay? He go back to school, he tries to ignore it, but emotionally it's bothering him. He come and tell you again, if he say, Daddy, they are bullying me.
Right.
Don't tell him again that you need to shake it off or you need to ignore it. You say, okay, tell Daddy what's going on. What do you want me to do? Because a lot of times these kids have the best solutions to their problems if we listen to them.
That's true.
So if they tell you he's bullying me, sit down and talk to him. Listen to him. Okay? Go to the school. If you don't feel like as a parent that the school is taking the proper action on your time, because remember, this is your kid.
Right.
All right? Policy may give them a certain amount of time, but this is your child.
Exactly.
Okay? You have the right as a parent, and Bubba will be a parent one day.
Yeah.
You have the right to go to the sheriff department and say that I want to file a report on a bullying situation with my child. I want it to be further investigated. And your juvenile section of your sheriff department, they'll see if it's, you know, if it meet the criteria to open up an investigation to do what they have to do. And they will open up investigation and investigate what's actually going on with your child. Because number one, you don't want your child to go into that same situation every single day, grades going down, you know, not feeling comfortable in his own skin because somebody has used self-fulfilling prophecy on him, telling that 90-pound kid that he's fat. Okay, you look in the mirror and see, I'm not fat, but eventually what happens? Self-fulfilling prophesizing is going to step in and he's going to start feeling fat. That girl is going to start feeling ugly. All of that stuff can mess with a person's emotional needs and emotional, you know, stability.
Yeah. So how old can somebody just say, do they have an age requirement? Because like, they might be kids like 5, 6 and that, you know.
Well, 5 or 6, even if they, the school looks into something, and that's difficult.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. At 5 or 6 years old, not all children are able to properly articulate themselves. Many of them are, but not all of them are able to properly articulate themselves. That's where we have, as parents, must know the rights. That's where we need to know our resources as well. Our resources as well. Where we can take our kids to someone who can help them articulate what they're trying to say.
So what you mean by getting help, like as a psych, like not a psych, but
well, possibly a licensed clinical social worker or a licensed professional counselor.
Counselor is like somebody that's in the school?
Possibly, but resources are always the best. Not saying that counselors are in the school are not best resources. However, not everybody's always comfortable speaking with somebody in the school, but getting to know your community-based resources, such as we don't like sending everybody to the mental health clinic, but
everybody say you're crazy then?
Right, and we'll talk about that too because we don't use the word crazy.
Okay, so
you know, however, there are different clinicians, what we call them, different people that can do assessments to see how they can best help your kid, whether it's like I say, licensed clinician, licensed social worker, or they call them LPCs, licensed professional counselors, and it's many. Some people say, "Oh, St. James Parish don't have nothing." No, we do. So we have resources.
So like, if this is something that's going on, and we're gonna drop this episode before school starts, just to help kids and parents just know what they have available to them. Where do they find this information for if they need help though?
Well, number one, if you're in St. James Parish, they could call me. And they could call me at 562-2424. They can always call the juvenile department of St. James Parish. 562-2239 is our sergeant. And you can also dial 211.
211?
211. In the state of Louisiana, there's a resource for your phone that's called 211. Of course, it has an automated, you know, like robotic thing to say what you're calling for, press 1, press 2, press 3, press 4. But eventually you're going to get a real person online and you tell them whether you are looking for mental health services, whether you just want counseling for your child. They will guide you to your area's resources. So it's 211. They can actually...
I ain't never heard that. All I know now when I get somebody...
Yeah, they can actually, and that's any parish that, you know, anywhere around the state, you can call your local law enforcement and say, you know, hey, I'm looking for some assistance. Or people can literally, whether you have Medicaid have like 4 or 5 insurance companies that govern them. And then you have your private insurance company. You turn over that card and you look at that 800 number.
That's crazy.
You call them, they work for you.
Wow.
Okay, you call them and say, I need such and such service. My child is being bullied, or I think my child is depressed. Something like that. And that, what they call, they're called care managers for the insurance companies. The care managers will link that parent to a resource in their area.
That's major.
Yeah, and we have resources that come into your home.
Yeah.
That's Medicaid funded. We have it all the way from what I like to call case management, all the way up to intensive therapy that goes into the home. We'll do parenting with kids, and not saying that parents don't know how to raise their children when they need this, but if children don't come with tags already.
Right.
So if you have an ADHD child or a child that's depressed because of a certain situation, a child who has a history of suicide attempts, you need a little direction.
Right.
You need an expert to come in there and be your support.
Right.
You know.
That is some information I guess I ain't never thought about it. I ain't never knew, and I think that gonna help a lot of people out for sure. 211, you need to help. That's another thing. So
Watch this.